he is starting to understand that every day that he gets out there, he is holding on to those results. They are going to be his forever if he continues to do this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the first video I'm filming in 2025, so I'm super excited to be back. I feel super refreshed, ready to inspire, hopefully. And I am Holly if you guys are new and just stumbling on this video. Today we're covering one of my favorite topics, how to get yourself motivated to run consistently. Obviously, New Year's resolutions are all ablaze right now. We're all trying to do new things. A lot of people are trying to take on running for the first time, maybe the 5th time after failed attempts. Either way, guys, there is something fundamental about how you handle the beginning that I'm gonna cover today. We're gonna talk through why it's so hard, why you think you're not cut out for it, and I'm gonna give you very tangible things you can do to make this go a lot smoother, and you'll get out the other side really loving running, hopefully. Let's jump right in. Little table of contents here for you. We're gonna cover 3 things today. Number 1 is gonna be, are some people more cut out for running than others? When you look out your window and you see a guy jogging down the street with a big smile on his face, he doesn't even look like he's breathing hard. Why is that the case? But you go out, you take 3 steps, feel like you're gonna pass out, and just miserable wanna cry. Are you guys predisposed to feeling this way? We're gonna cover that. Number 2, we're gonna talk about your plan. What is a plan you can stick to for your lifestyle that is gonna lead to long-term results? Something that you're not gonna give up on, start, stop. We're gonna talk about what that looks like. And topic number 3, my favorite, why your bad runs attempted or completed are gonna be the most foundational to you sticking with this. Why those horrible runs are actually the most important part to your mind and your body. Let's get into topic number 1. First thing I want you guys to do is be real with yourself about how you typically get the most done in a day. I'm not talking about fitness right now, but your daily tasks, your work product. Are you someone who needs a planner, hour by hour, breaking things down in order to check the most off? Or are you someone who does better with more flexibility and control and moving things around to capture the most time through your day and get the most done? That is the first step. You really need to know this so that we can apply it to your run plan. More on this in section 2. So my first main point is that once you know this about yourself, you have a much better shot at following through with your running. And I know in the beginning in the run journey, it's so hard to see this, right? It feels like such a different part of your day because it's exhausting, it's painful, it's not immediately paying off. It really doesn't feel the same as sitting at your computer, knocking out a very important work task that eventually leads to a finished work product that might eventually lead to a raise. They are not seen as the same because they're so foreign in your mind, especially if running is just now being introduced. But how you do anything is how you do everything. So right here, I urge you guys to just reflect on last year. What was the most productive part of the year? What were you doing on a daily basis to accomplish the most? We're gonna put running right in with everything else. Now, continuing with my examination of the human population that nobody asked for, I believe that when something is difficult, and I'm gonna speak specifically to running now, in this physical, difficult activity, we're struggling, we can't breathe, heart rate is super high, we just feel like we're gonna die. I think there's 2 types of reactions to this. First camp of people, and I would say a large majority, are in panic. Alarm bells are going off. This cannot be right. And they feel this way because we are building lives around comfort and stability constantly. Most of us end the day on the couch, under the blankets, the AC blasting, we're well fed. Watching TV, nothing can hurt us. Running in the beginning is so the opposite of that feeling that we feel like something must be wrong, right? This cannot be right. Then there's a second camp of people. And I believe these people are oftentimes influenced by their surroundings, how they were raised, or maybe they started to get into motivational stuff already, but they understand or believe that this struggle period, this real moment of discomfort is the only way they're gonna get the real reward. The only way they're gonna get to the other side and have the most amazing payoff is if they sit in this struggle. They can't get it without being in it. Now, like I said, you can be influenced to think this way. You can have already experienced it in other things, maybe not running, but something else, but you've seen that the really dark moments led to the brightest moments. Going back to the image of the guy jogging down the street, looking fairly content, maybe even has a smile on his face, I urge you to think about why he looks that way. I know we all want to jump to the conclusion that it's easier for him, so that's why he is having a good time doing it. And it's hard for us, and that's why we hate it. But I also want you to think about the fact he has been doing this long enough to start to see the payoff. Not just physically, weight loss or anything like that, but he is starting to understand that every day that he gets out there, he is holding on to those results. They are going to be his forever if he continues to do this, right? He's already started to watch the struggle become something. And I really want you guys to take that to heart, because it doesn't matter what anyone looks like. They went through the beginning too. All of us did. I remember vividly the beginning of my running journey. It was not pretty. And I tell people all the time, especially some of my newer clients, I can't let you guys quit before you at least experience the turn. I call it the turn. There is a moment where all of a sudden you feel in control. And this guy jogging down the street has experienced that already. And I'm sure there's ups and downs for everyone. But once you start to see that the depths of the real bad part can lead to the upswing and then just that change in mentality, which we'll get to today as well, you will start to understand how much it's worth it to get out there and do it every single day. As you guys are listening to me talk here and you find yourselves thinking, I'm kind of in that first camp of people, I'm in so much discomfort as I go try to run that I actually think I'm in danger. I'm panicking. This doesn't feel normal. This doesn't feel right. I encourage you to take on a mantra that I've lived by my whole life. I was raised on this mantra. You get out of it what you put into it. And I think the struggle of the beginning of working out, running, anything difficult, is your opportunity to put into it. Resist that feeling. Resist the negative thinking. You've always done it a certain way and you haven't gotten where you want it to be, so maybe it's not the right way. Putting into it and then reaping that reward because of what you did, there is no feeling like it. On top of that, guys, if you feel stuck in any other part of your life, maybe you're not sure how to make a change in something else non-fitness related, this is a great impetus for that. If you're unsure of what to do next in that area, running and just staying on a schedule of actually being active and sticking to what you said you were gonna do will affect the rest of your life. It will. It just might be the thing to get the ball rolling down the hill, and you don't really see the direct results yet, or you don't see how it could affect something at work, totally unrelated to running, but it does, because now your mindset is changing. You're believing that the worst of it can actually lead to the best of it. So to answer the original question, are some people more cut out for running than others? No. Yes, if you're more in shape as you start your running journey, of course you're gonna have an easier time because science. But other than that, I believe everybody is equally ready to be an amazing runner and to stick with running for the rest of their life. They just need the right mental and physical approach. On to topic number 2, the plan. How do we create a plan for you where running feels as unskippable, if that's a word, as your daughter's dentist appointment, as your meeting with your boss, as putting food on the table for your family? How do we create a plan where running is second nature? In order to make this happen, for the beginning of our running journey, we need to focus on the fact that doing it is way more important than wanting to do it. We believe that if we journal and we drink our cup of tea and we turn the lights down low, we meditate, listen to the podcast, read the book, all that stuff, we'll finally then have this mindset where we're always wanting to follow through and always wanting to go run. And it will never be hard because we finally put our brain in a space where it always wants to do it. That's just not realistic. I'm gonna share some pretty horrifying stats with you guys. I have run for probably 12 years consistently at this point, if I'm doing the math right. And I can tell you that of all the times I was supposed to go out the door and run, I have probably gotten out the door about 90% of the time, which is incredible, honestly. But I've only wanted to leave the door and go run about 30% of the time. And that's honest, and that might even be generous. But why did I do it? Why did I get out the door and do it anyway? Discipline is the only way motivation matters or has any weight in this world. To think that you're going to feel excited about the thing every single day is bullshit. It's never gonna happen that way. Discipline is where it's at. We have to do it anyway. The key in the beginning is doing it anyway. Once we lay that foundation and we get back into that kind of situation where it does feel second nature like anything else on the schedule, then we can tweak and build on the workouts and actually fine tune our running goal once we're already in the process of it being a regular part of our life. We can't change things or look for really specific running results if we don't first understand that we are gonna show up no matter what, or at least 90% of the time. It's really important to understand that. I think people feel like they're only gonna be excited about something if they're hitting the next goal and seeing the results. You see this a lot with weight loss in general. Once people make a big transformation at the beginning, they sort of level out or plateau, and because it's not daily obvious change, they lose interest, right? But the doing it and the discipline of reps, that is where everything benefits you the most, and that's where you see the most impact on your life. So to make my point more succinct, I believe that if we focus all of our energy on waiting to feel motivated, it makes our whole endeavor feel too big to chew and we kind of give up before we even start. If you have not watched, I did a video a couple months ago on why I swear by 3 runs a week. And in the video, I really expand on what I believe the best training strategy to be, so I highly recommend watching it if you need ideas. But in that, I talk about why it's actually so much more valuable to do less, but regularly over time. It leads to longer term goal achievement than doing a ton of volume or a ton of effort in just a few weeks and then burning out and having to start, stop. So for example, if you have a 12-week period and you run twice a week, but you do it every single week of the 12, you will get more out of that than you would doing 5 runs a week for 3 weeks and then quitting for 4 weeks and then starting over. That's not sustainable, clearly. So I believe that a foundation of 3 runs a week and then some other things added to that and some flexibility added to that of moving things around as you need. We're not robots, I remind you in the video. We have vacation, we have things that come up. Things have to move around in order for us to stay consistent. In that video, I really discussed, so I'll go more detailed there, but I just want you guys to know that setting yourself up for follow through really comes down to being realistic, and it also comes down to knowing that the payoff is gonna be long-term, the long game here. You're not gonna see it right away, but the only way to achieve the result is to trust in the consistency and make it so that you can be consistent week to week. So let's get specific now. How are we gonna make this happen? First things first, I want your schedule as you work running in to feel similar to when your schedule didn't have running in it. I don't want this to feel like a total 180 from last year, and I say that because your schedule was working in a lot of ways already. There wasn't the physical activity, or at least the active running in it, which we're gonna talk about how much it benefits the rest of your life, but yes, it needs to be a blend of the two. We can't totally rewrite your whole life. That's gonna feel too big again to chew. Second thing I recommend is for 2 weeks at the beginning of this running journey, I want you to do 3 different days. Pick a different time of day in each of the 3 to go out and do your workout. This is the experimenting. We're gonna figure out what is the best time of day, where do you feel the best to put this in? We don't always have the option to do it when we feel the best, but we're gonna try to prioritize that time of day the best we can. So I recommend going out for 30 minutes. Can be just a walk if you're not there physically yet. It can be a walk run. It can be a run if you've already tried running before. You trust that you're in the body that will allow you to do it without getting hurt right away. But you're gonna experiment a bit here. So 3 sessions of 30 minutes, and you're gonna do that whatever days you want in the first week, whatever days you want in the second week. That's the step 1. Research, how do I feel the best when I'm running? What is the best time of day for me to work this in? And also logistically with the rest of your life. Now, as your coach, I have to give you a little tough love. There is pretty much no excuse for leaving physical activity out of your daily schedule. There's just not. Now, I want to be speaking specifically about running today, but any type of physical activity is going to benefit you, and it's really, really important in sustaining all parts of your life as you age. It just is. You're going to sleep better. You're going to make better nutritional decisions. Kind of by second nature, you just tend to eat a little bit better because it leads to better feelings during your physical activity. You're gonna run easier if you're actually putting good fuel in your body. You're gonna be more focused on that time you have alone. When you go run, you now have this space to yourself. You can be creative. You can have ideas come to you for other areas of your life, things that wouldn't have come to you if you were buried over the computer like you normally are. And you're just going to appreciate what your body does for you. You are putting effort, as I said, to go back to that, putting in to get out. You are actually investing in your body, investing in your long-term health. So while it's a struggle in the beginning, and as I said, you're not feeling motivated necessarily right away, knowing that the payoff from consistent physical activity is so big across your whole life should be enough. Doing it to improve everything in the quality of how you feel, but also in how you operate and how you follow through in the rest of your life is the ticket here. That is why it's so important. So if you're starting to get on board, you're believing what I'm saying, but you don't really know how to map out the beginning of your workout plan, your run plan, I do have training plans that I wrote. They're down in the description. They're linked there. And I actually did a plan totally dedicated to the absolute beginner, someone who doesn't know where to start. So you've got 3 run walk workouts a week. You've got 2 strength, and you've got very detailed warm-ups and cool downs to keep you safe and injury prevented, from the beginning. And each plan actually comes with a call with me. So we'll go through everything and talk about how to individually tailor it to yourself. But that's a 6-week plan, but I have other ones as well. But hopefully that inspires you guys to jump off with this, and then you can take it from there. My third and final point today, my favorite point to make to you guys, is that your worst runs completed are the most formative moments in your training and in your life. I would not be who I am without running. So much of running has sucked for me. It's been difficult. So many really hard moments where I didn't know if I could get through it. But navigating those moments is why I sit here today so passionate about the subject. I really think that if it was easy most of the time, we wouldn't appreciate it and we wouldn't change. But when you come in from a horrendous run, every bit of it went horribly. But you come in knowing that you did get out there and attempt, you are changing right there in that moment because now you trust yourself to make the most of the situation, try it anyway, push through anyway. That leads to so much in the rest of your life. And I really like that concept of how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time. You can't be looking for daily progress. That's going to really stump you and stop you from continuing to go. You have to trust that it's all happening. And I really think the most progress happens in those really, really shitty moments. So just know this is part of it. It's actually the most important part of your journey. Here are some tangible tips of how to talk to yourself when you're in a really low moment out there and it just feels impossible. When I'm struggling, and I mean I am struggling, I'm crying a lot of the time, honestly, I tell myself this is the worst it's going to be. It's not going to get worse than this. I have already seen the worst of it. That already takes a layer of fear off the top. A lot of the times when we're starting out and we're struggling, it comes out of nowhere almost. We're running, everything's fine. It feels like we're in control, and all of a sudden the heart rate spikes and we can't form a sentence. That is very scary because we didn't know that was coming, right? So once we just tell ourselves, okay, that was really terrifying, but it happened the one time and now I know what to expect, but it's not going to get worse than this because I can manage myself. That feels a lot better. On that same note, across the course of a month, 4 weeks of getting out the door and making it happen, running is only going to get easier. There is a switch, there is that turn where all of a sudden you will be in the driver's seat and you determine when you take your walk break. That is the best feeling in the world when you're in control of that and you're not being dragged along anymore. But most people quit right before they get there. They convince themselves that it'll never be worth it, they're not cut out, won't pay off. I promise you from everything in this video, you should be seeing this picture now, you are cut out for it. Do not quit before you at least feel that feeling. And then if you hate it, I will allow you to stop if you just don't enjoy it. But I want you to get to the place where you're in control, and you will if you stay consistent. So just know this, guys. This is not supposed to be easy. It really is a struggle out there, but the way you talk to yourself is really important. The best part now is once we've laid this foundation of following through, getting out the door whether we want to or not, we can now choose how we want to approach running. This is the best part of it all. You've gotten around that corner, now you're in control. Do you want to sign up for a race? Do you just want to simply run a mile without walking? That was one of the biggest accomplishments I ever remember having. Do you want to just finish a 30-minute run without being out of breath? Do you want to get faster, qualify for Boston one day? The world is your oyster, but we can't go for any of that until we trust that we will show up for ourselves. Running seriously has changed my life, and it's because I've learned how to talk to myself in the low moments and apply this to everything. It really is amazing, guys. Thank you for watching. I know this was very long. If you've made it to this point, really, really proud of you. I hope it helped. One day you're going to look up and running's gonna be easy. It's gonna be something you look forward to. It's gonna be something you go do with your friends, with your kids, with your parents. It's just one of the best things in the world, and you can approach this correctly from the beginning and have it to look forward to for the rest of your life. Subscribe, guys, if you haven't yet. Let me know what else you wanna see, and I will see you very soon. Bye.